The 13th, their meeting minutes for, to be approved. Or not approved.
Picture it is live, but so if there's anything showing up.
This has happened before.
Is it on?
You just talking
TV
to
on?
blank screen?
Yep.
Yeah, that's on. It's just going to black screen. You have to take it off.
I think it records, but it doesn't,
Display video.
yeah, it's all, so it won't be live,
Now
but it
comes back
records.
on. That's not good.
Oh,
No relevance to me. Doesn't matter one way or the other. So last meeting we only had a couple people here. We didn't have a quorum. I'd have to defer to people who were here the meeting before. If we've got minutes, do you guys want to vote to approve, or who was at the previous meeting? All you guys, I think.
Yeah, three of us were.
yeah, and Kurt.
Yeah, they did a great job with the minutes. I thought they were very, very well done.
Yeah, so maybe we can discuss that tonight.
Yep.
and
Yeah.
see. Did you
So-
have a chance to look at them, Sean?
I wouldn't vote on them anyway. I did. I think
Okay,
it's great.
okay.
Yeah, I think it's fabulous.
Yeah, so,
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from January 23rd, 2018.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I guess the discussion would be, is it appropriate right now to discuss it? As my email said, this is my brother who did the minutes. He's volunteered. He doesn't live in town, so I don't know if that's an issue or not. The other issue would be that obviously he watches it via YouTube, so it would be done the next day or whatever when it's put up. Now, if this is audio and he can hear it, he'll be able to do it. I don't know if they put audio on YouTube, if there's no video.
No, it's,
Actually, it's recording audio and video, but
It is doing video? Okay.
I think the meeting on the 23rd was the same way. I actually think that it wasn't showing on the screen, wasn't going live, but it was being recorded, and then
And he listened to it
then you
that
can
way?
put it.
Yeah,
Well, no, then you
haven't-
can put it on YouTube and you can play it back later on
Okay.
on the community channel.
So he's volunteered to do it. He likes it. It's purely whatever people here feel. If someone else wants to do it instead,
Yeah, I don't think so. If that was the case, somebody would have been doing
yeah,
it for the last
that's
6
true.
months.
If there's not an issue with him doing it via YouTube, that would be my only question to you guys.
I don't see why there'd be a problem. If you're watching, it's the same thing as, sitting in the room.
Right.
And the end result is people who are at the meeting are approving the minutes through road. So
Correct.
that's really your double check on something like that.
Yep. So
All in favor? Approving the minutes?
should I make a motion or?
You already made a motion
Okay.
for
Okay.
that.
So yeah. Sorry.
Why don't we finish the motion?
Sure.
All in favor of the motion? 3-0. I abstain. 3-0-1. Motion passes. We don't need
We
to
don't
make
have
a
to do-
motion
okay,
on
okay.
this.
I didn't know if it was-
nobody is objected to it,
No.
and unless somebody up above the chain here says no,
Right.
I think they'll be ecstatic to get minutes.
Yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. Even if we paid someone, they don't have to be from town either. So,
That was, I wasn't sure. I didn't know if that's what I wasn't sure is, did they have to be, I thought there was a pool of minute takers in town.
We asked to have somebody come down and take them. We got told, oh, yeah, we'll work on it, we'll work on it, we'll work on it. 2 or 3 times after Sandy left and nothing's happened. So,
Okay. I thought that was that we needed to, in a way, get our acts together and make them aware, like say by Sunday, that there was in fact going to be a meeting on Tuesday, to give
No,
them
'cause
a
originally we
heads
talked
up.
about doing it just by YouTube meeting. If somebody's going to take care of it that way, that never happened
Oh,
either.
okay, all right.
So, no biggie.
I'll let them know.
All right,
thank you.
Thank you. He'll like it.
thanks, awesome.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got going tonight? Anything?
Well, I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from 2/13,
Yeah,
Well, all righty then.
February 13th, 2018.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
3-0, abstaining, 301, motion carries. All right, holy mackerel.
I did have a request, that obviously you guys don't think saw last meeting because there wasn't a meeting. There's gonna be another paint night at Talent. Well, I'd like to request another paint night, be allowed at Talent on April 6th. I saw the calendar had been updated by Andy. It looks like he's left Friday nights open. So I'd like to request the use of Talent April 6th from 6 to 11 p.m. 6 o'clock being set up 6 to 7, paint from 7 to 10, and then clean up from 10 to 11. This is another ladies' night out event. Nothing against the guys. It's just I don't know how many guys want to paint signs. The other thing I was requesting is this is a booster, CHS Campbell High Athletic Booster Club fundraiser. Me being on the rec commission, can I have the rec commission co-sponsor the event? That would allow us to save $105, so we don't have to go purchase the insurance binder. And I guess I could do it under the rec commission insurance. And I'd still have to get the detail.
You have to get the detail and just have to let our insurance know that we're running an event.
Okay.
Through the town administrator.
Okay, Troy.
Troy,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So is that something we need to vote on?
It's a quagmire. Supposedly, a rec commission member can take out and utilize any of the facilities at any time based on our bylaws. But we historically have voted on things like this.
Okay. So can I make a motion
Sure.
I'll make a motion to have the rec commission co-sponsor the Campbell High School Athletic Booster Club Paint Night event being held on April 6th at Town Hall.
Subject to insurance and a police detail.
Subject to insurance and police detail, correct.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any
Anybody?
discussion?
Want to talk about it, or?
No, it was fine last time, right? So
Is it?
Yeah, I think it was
Was
good.
there alcohol? Just so
It
you
was
knew?
alcohol,
Okay, so okay.
It's a wine night.
It was a lot of wine. It was good. It was nice. It was actually very nice. It's low key. It's nice. It's a nice night out. It's nice to have talent and be able to just bring your own food and wine and paint. So it's good. So I'd invite the guys, but I don't think they want to go. I don't know.
I'll have to let Sandy know about it. She
Yeah.
loves wine.
Yeah.
Painting
And
would just be
painting.
a byproduct.
Yeah.
All in favor? 400, motion carries. That
Thank
was
you,
easy.
guys.
And Andy's already got the calendar, so.
Yes, I looked at it's all cleaned up. I just have to put it on there. So there's nothing on Friday night. I saw that. Now, did you guys discuss roles and responsibilities at all last time?
No.
Do we want to discuss that tonight, or do we want to wait for?
So, yes, we had two items. One to look at the bylaws and officer positions within the bylaws. I haven't seen the bylaws at all, and Keith was going to scan them in and try and get a hard copy, but I didn't see those come across the wire, so I don't think we're in a better position to discuss those at this time. The task list, we just want to kind of like make a list of things we need to do during the course of the year, get binders, put up tennis nets, just those standard things we can predict that we know we need to do and assign those out so we can kind of have somebody's eye on the ball as the year goes along. I think, I'd like to have more people here for that discussion because we want to spread the responsibilities. But I don't know if there's anything, I know the busy season is coming pretty soon here, so is there anything that is urgent in the next 2 weeks before we can reconvene with hopefully a
I saw the
group?
insurance email
Yeah.
from
I have all the
Andy.
insurance.
Would you have all the insurances?
I have all. Well, I gotta
It
find.
didn't sound like we got. Even though flag football said they sent it in.
No. Flag football, I don't have theirs. Flag football said they sent in their
In
thing to
November.
the state, not the binder, to the state.
I thought
That's what that
Tara's
comment was.
email. I thought she said Andy, I left it with town hall. Did you get it?
Yes, that's what she was talking about, the background check,
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
because the check hasn't been cashed. And Andy said he never saw it. So the question becomes, we need to check town hall, of course.
Right.
Town hall was closed today, so it wasn't, that
Oh,
was.
they were closed?
Yeah.
It was closed, okay.
But yeah, well, I can stop by today, tomorrow, or Thursday and ask if they have a check. If they have that hanging around, because it's been sitting around since November. And, now they hit the thing, and we're sitting here telling them we're required, and if it's sitting over there for 4 months.
Good stuff.
So, I'll come in the next couple of days.
I'll jump in. River Access Committee is meeting this Thursday at
Okay.
6:30 or 7 o'clock. They never got back to what time they're actually meeting. The original email went out saying it was important that I attended the meeting. I said we should have a selectman there because they really have taken over the driving force of how this is going to be handled.
Yeah, I wish
and
Kurt was
where it's
here.
gonna be. But we are getting misinformation or different information on different things towards it. So I think selectmen really should be there. I volunteered to ref in a tournament in Methuen Thursday, so I won't be here this Thursday for that meeting. I don't even know if they're going to hold it. Based on Brennan's original email, he put out a couple dates and said, "Oh, we'll do it this Thursday as long as John can make it," and he hasn't responded since. So it's still hanging out there. My last discussion with Troy was about the $5,000 being held from our budget from last year, and the selectmen had approved that, and that money was sitting there available to use. Project Roadway was always the big project going. We're trying to get this army to do it. Well, that's all being donated now, so there is no cost to the town or anything for putting the roadway and the parking lot in. The only thing that's hanging out there at that point is whether we put a fence or a lighting or something like that up. So the 5,000 is just kind of sitting there, signs or wherever we want to go towards it. I guess one of the debates that came up at a meeting you guys had, I caught YouTube afterwards, was about who should be responsible for the land. If you go back to our town reports for the last, I don't know, as long as I've been writing them or Sandy's been writing them, we clearly say in the town report we don't handle conservation commission land or school brought land. So if the selectmen want to reassign that and
Right.
say, hey, the rec commission's going to handle the trail and the conservation trails and the trail for the river access, I don't care. We'll just change how we do it. But as we keep reporting, or we've reported with the selectmen's approval, I guess, every single year that we don't do this. The original request I made to the selectmen was, look, I'm not looking for the whole chunk of land, but if we're going to be responsible, somebody has to give us the blessing from the selectmen saying, it's up to you guys to watch this. And the Conservation Commission's like, absolutely,
They
because
don't
at
want
least
it.
you have the people.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all for it
Right.
when it came to them. They're like, you have the people who seem to tour all these facilities and you seem to be everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, we do. We've got great people who pop into all the parks and seem to be active towards things. And I said, at least at that point, we can use Kevin and the town because we've got a process in play. That's where I stand with it. There's nothing else really going on with it. I think the hope originally was to start doing some construction mid-March. That's not going to happen.
It's not happening anyway.
So we'll see the time frame. The snow might have slowed down Jason's drive to get this done. Again, I'd still love to have the project completed this year, just so it's out there. I bought a canoe last fall, so I'm ready to go. That's all I have on that.
So there's a meeting this Thursday,
There was a meeting planned for this Thursday here.
and I'm sorry, to discuss what again? To just,
Where they stand.
Where they stand,
What's the next process? And that's why I said you need to get somebody from the town, from the selectmen to come down to the meeting as well. Because they're in charge
Okay.
at the moment. I mean, they've got to make decisions at the selectmen's level for us.
Okay.
And when I was watching Kurt and you guys talking about it last time, that didn't seem to be a connection there. I mean, they've got the lead ball in this. We can't lead this; they have to.
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, Kurt was definitely had said it was basically saying it was on us at that point, and it's like, well, where did that come from? We had no idea.
Right, because selectmen haven't approved this as being
Right.
our facility.
We were all sitting. I don't know. It was just then. I think it spawned. If I'm correct with this conversation, that it spawned that we're responsible for a lot of these
Two other paths,
areas,
like
and this was news to us.
Well, it's again. I can go back to years. The first time I've ever heard this was from Kurt at that meeting, and I don't know how that would be possible.
Right.
It's in the town report every year that we do not handle school property or conservation
Trash,
property.
anything. Right.
Right.
So we were all sitting there saying, news to us as well.
I will tell you, there is a gentleman in town who is in the process of creating maps for us to put on our website. He just finished the Litchfield forest map. Name's Andrew Thompson, and I asked him to do maps of all of our fields and, an overview. Here, that's an overview of what he's got for the town forest and all the maps that are in there. I somehow have to get this to you, see if you can try and get it up on the
Upload
website.
it. Nice.
Peter, you want to take a gander? He just sent that to me today, which is great.
So is he just taking this on his own initiative
He's-
to,
He is
or is he doing a
either-
project or something?
He's headed in the direction of doing this as a career, and I think he's in school, and part of his projects in school is to do some projects of doing the maps. So I sent him a message and said, hey, if you're looking to do this and you want some experience, I got things we're looking for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I gave him a list, and whatever
And then
he
we can
does
at
is
least
the
know
better.
what we're responsible for. And we can put it on our page.
Right. Well, I mean, this is the town forest. We're not
That's-
responsible for it, but people
right.
access our website to go, hey, we're a thing. We could put, like I told them, I could put a group of maps sitting there. Hey,
Yeah.
this map was created, the town forest, by so-and-so, and here we go. How do I get it to you?
Oh, is it a PDF or what is it?
It's a PDF off of Facebook, I think. I don't know. We'll figure that
Yeah,
out
yeah.
afterwards. All right. Anyway, he's been working on that for me because I think it would be a positive for people to go click. Hey, there it is. Isn't that cute?
Right. But now, so getting back to the boat launch and these other places, though, it's the selectmen that are going to tell us if we're responsible for it.
That's what I asked the selectmen to do months ago.
Okay.
When I asked them to see if they'd support it. It's up to them. I mean, it's conservation land. I mean, they've designated that conservation land up till now.
Right.
Conservation has said, look, we
They
really
don't want
prefer if you guys, who are the rec department, take this section of land from us and just put it out there.
And I guess it would it just have to find out what maintenance is entailed.
There is no maintenance.
There is no maintenance.
It's a gravel roadway.
Okay.
I mean, there'll be signs, so it would be the same thing as if one of the signs in town got damaged.
Okay.
We're gonna put a sign up, sign gets damaged, people are gonna look to us, would it take us 3 years to fix the Dara Pond one? It's, that's really the physical nature of this. We have no lights set up, we have no cameras set up. There was talk about doing things like this, but again, that all came back to, hey, we put a camera up there that costs $7,000. Who replaces it if it gets damaged, and who's responsible for it, et cetera, et cetera. It's
Okay.
supposed to be a nice, easy going, smooth project with the River Access Committee directing it. The question they have is after the committee is done and it's done, who's going to look after the property?
Right.
I can put my hand up and say, yeah, I'll be there like every week.
Yeah.
Because that's what I love. But as an official organization, the Conservation Commission was like, they were sitting here, I was there. Are you guys willing to take it? And I said, I can't see why anybody in the Rec Commission would say no to this. But listening to Kurt, making his comments about the falls down across from GMS, and the conservation land up across near the farm, it probably should be under us to look after things like that. We're the people going out in these places.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I say yes, but I would also think that the Conservation Commission should also have some sort of involvement in it. That I just, for me, it seems like it's part and parcel of the same thing.
We are. I think their point is their budget is to purchase land, where the selectmen feel their budget is not just to purchase land, but they can actually spend that money to build trails, signs, et cetera, et cetera. They question why the Conservation Commission wasn't using the funds that are available to them to build the road and so forth.
Or to do the repairs, like this.
Or to do anything.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, so
That was one of their questions to me originally. I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and originally we thought we could use impact fees to do the project. But that letter we got from Troy Brown pretty clearly stated. Did you guys see that? I forwarded it out. Troy Brown sent to some guy who's up in Maine who was part of the New Hampshire impact fee process. I think he wrote the original rules towards it, so he interprets that. Our next two projects for impact fees, the way he interprets it, are a playground and 2 more tennis courts. We don't have the ability to
do anything else?
deter away from that, in his opinion. That's
Because
what
of
he
what?
sent out to Troy. In his opinion, that's the way our impact fees lead
A
forward.
playground at Sawmill or
He didn't specify,
or
but
is
that
it
was that was what we originally had put on there, the
Right.
playground at Sawmill.
Okay.
And we had talked about doing an expansion of the tennis courts when we were
Correct.
doing Sawmill as well.
Right.
So because that is hanging out there, in his opinion, those two projects had to be complete before we went to use the funds anywhere else. And that's what it got me to say, geez, can we hold $5,000 back of our budget from last year, because we underspent our budget,
Right.
defer it, tie that funds up for it, because we have the right to use that money. We just weren't going to use it in 2017. He said he'd talk to Selectmen. He got that approved as deferred, so it doesn't impact us. We have additional funds that we could use from this year's budget as well, because we have money in there to do things, but that would be up to us to go somewhere with it. And it was in the middle of December, so I wasn't much other than work for the entire month of December,
Yeah.
so I didn't see you guys at all. But I talked to Troy during that time frame and said, do you need anything else? And he said, well, has the rec commission voted to approve this? And I said, well, yeah, they voted in, like, my memory serves, like $20-something thousand. We said we could look up to spending that much. And we talked about impact fees and so forth back in like July. And we voted to say, yes, we will support the project. I said we can go back to that date if we want. And he goes, well, if you guys have already put a vote with a value that's more than the $5,000, then I'll just tell the selectmen we're looking to defer the $5,000. So that's where we went with that.
I find it interesting. Now I'm thinking backwards. Like, should we have even done what we did with the baseball fields? If
Again, that's not our problem.
right, I know it's not a problem, but now I'm thinking. Now that's going in my head. Like,
Again, we send this.
What do you
The
mean, down with-
selectmen
To
have
build
the
baseball
right.
fields?
The selectmen have the right to approve whatever use of funds that
Right.
that we asked them for. They approved it.
oh, yeah, exactly. No, I got
So
that. But
needed. I mean, I would think that would trump.
Again, they didn't send a request forward on the baseball fields. They only sent the request out because somebody made a comment that should we be able to use this impact fees for the river access. So Troy questioned this gentleman, and his response came forward. So now with his response, Troy has this letter that says, Jesus, this is where you have to go for your next projects, which is fine. We all wanted to do a playground down in Sawmill anyway. The tennis courts, I was all for that because I know the only way you can get a high school tennis team is to have 4 tennis courts together in the same location to ever have a tennis team.
Yep.
And those courts get used a ton.
oh yeah,
Not today.
No, no.
that's what I know.
Tough to see the courts.
It's going to be a bit.
No, but they do. They definitely are over in the summer. Now that half the trees are out of there, people see them and go more. it's amazing, like, because before the sawmill project, that there was like, no, it was like hidden away. Only a few people were using
One
it.
guy in a station wagon that would park there every day and play tennis.
We had some high school kids that used to use, that were just in high school or just out of high school that used to use it
Yeah.
on a regular basis too, because they knew it was there.
It's great.
They
It's
thought
great
they
now.
were sneaking on somebody else's property. Kind of funny.
So that reminds me, John, you sent an email and, to all of us thanking a guy, and I said, could you send it? And I never saw the email. Do you guys remember what that was?
I sent out an email about the town report
Was it the
a
town
couple weeks
report?
ago. I forwarded that letter to you guys. Now, if that attachment didn't show up,
That's what I'm thinking. I didn't get it. Yeah.
I could try and.
Is that the one you're talking about from Troy, or from? But you said thank you for your input to the guy. Who was this guy?
Well, the input thing was about the town report. That was probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, because that was pretty much up there. Let's see. While I'm looking for this,
Oh yeah. So it was. Hello, John. Please find attached the following letter on behalf of the Litchfield Planning Board. Thanks for your cooperation, from Michael.
they want to be here next meeting.
So we never
There's a-
saw that original email. So what is Michael from the Planning Board?
So the planning board, a few months ago, they started a new group in town looking to plan the future, and in doing that, it became part of the planning board's regular meetings that this group gets together.
Okay.
Didn't you come to one of them?
Planning board?
Yeah.
Yeah, by accident one night. I thought we had a meeting, so I walked in. I was like, well, I guess I'll stay and listen in for a bit.
Oh, all right. Anyway, the planning board is supposed to be looking towards the future of Litchfield. It's part of their process. And in doing so, they've talked about doing things up and down Route 3A. They're part of that driving force for the Heritage Commission in town.
Is this the beautification?
Beautification's
Just-
Brennan's thing. That's
Beautifications, but I did see the heritage thing tonight when
the,
I was
the
voting.
Heritage thing is coming from those guys.
Okay.
And in doing all of that, they sent him email, which I forwarded out. Again,
But I
if the
didn't-
letter didn't come with it, all
Yeah,
it
the letter
said
didn't
was,
come with it, yeah.
hey, we want to come and meet with you guys
Okay.
and talk about Dara Pond.
Oh, Dara.
That's
Okay.
effectively what the letter said. And they gave the date for our next meeting, and I
So what are they
said,
looking to do
sure.
at Dara?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. They just-
That was it. They said we want to talk about ideas we have for Dara, and see what you guys think of it. Come on, Dad. You know, just like anything else in town, if somebody wants to volunteer to do something that's going to help the town,
Yeah,
help
no,
the town
I-
parks out, I'm like, bring it on. They did a lot of work on historical pictures and brainstorming, and they're trying to create a vision to go with. I think 2 of their meetings where I sat through it and watched it and went, well, this could be a ton of work. And we've got a few people in town who are all in on it, and that's great. But the planning board's the leading process with it, along with the regional planning authority, whatever they're called, National Regional Planning Authority or something. They have a leadership role as a planning board. Because at one point they had come into town talking about development on 3A, industrial park development, etc. They met with a group of like 70 residents in town. We broke up into different groups and said, leave our town alone. We want farming and we want tiny towns, and maybe a coffee shop would be nice.
I don't know. Maybe with that new, if they get that new fire station, we may want some industry to offset some of the costs.
We talked about that at one of the meetings. We talked about that back in the day, because we have the industrial park down in the south part of town. Problem is, if you're coming into town, you have no access anywhere. Got a choice between Litchfield in the middle of the town with no highway access, or Londonderry that's got tons of highway
Oh,
access,
yeah.
both 93 and Route 3. Where do you go? You go to Londonderry right now. Some people say our infrastructure's not enough to entice big business into town. They're probably right. Small fire department, small police department. you know, you can always get into the cost question of whether or not the industrial money coming back in really has any major offset towards your property taxes. I could debate that from a real estate line and show you years and years of development in places like Hudson. It hasn't helped their residential tax rate at all. They're still in the same boat the rest of us are, and yet they've got industrial parks all over town. They've taken farmland for it over the years, and they have a massive police department, a massive fire department to, you know, to offset towards that. Is it worthy for the town? That's a planning board decision. It's not a rec decision. So
Oh, obviously.
I've been able to go, yep, I'm out of this one unless I
Yep.
join the planning board.
Yep.
I still step back and go, if you look at our budgets for the rec commission and how this town operates for the rec commission and many other things, we're a very frugal town. I mean, we have our budget has not gone up in a decade. That's unbelievable when you think about it. And it's because everybody's sitting here. I say it all, every year I say it in the town report. You know, it's the organizations and the people on the board that run this town and do it efficiently. But it's inconvenient at the high school level because of the amount of money you have to pay to be in football and some of the sports, the hockey or swimming, because that's all self-funded by the kids. But it's driven from the bottom end. We do that at this level, we do it at the high school level. So we had a slide broken at Derek
Yeah,
Road.
so I was just gonna say the,
I
so,
forwarded the info to Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin taped it. Kevin now reports to the fire chief. They've changed the way the town is structured a little bit, trying to tie things together. So Kevin has to report what he does. That's why you see the fire chief will catch up on our stuff now. So if I ask Kevin to do something with the heating system at town hall, the fire chief will end up being linked in the emails. He might actually already be attached to our email chain, just so he knows what's going on.
so would you say Kevin, what to the slide? He taped it?
He caution taped it
Oh, caution
to
tape.
keep
Okay.
people from using it. We really can't get to it right now,
Right.
but it sounds, based on the email I got, I don't know if we got it.
We all got it.
Okay. I'm never sure how some people get
Yeah.
my name and where stuff comes through. It sounds like it's suffered a
Well, it's been,
an
I
issue.
do know they did some sort of temporary repair. I mean, the way
Well,
he
that was
described it,
3 years
saying there
ago.
was some screwed, right, and I know it's been, in need of repair probably for a bit now.
It has a center bar dropping
Yes.
down to the ground. I don't know.
But I don't know. There is a screw that's missing. There's some sort of thing up there that's missing. So.
Yeah, the original brackets that attached the stairs to the piece were busted. We've
Yeah.
replaced those a couple of times. But
So hopefully-
maybe it's gone beyond this little handyman's thing and get
Yeah.
somebody to reset the base of the slide.
Right. Before someone, yeah,
I
takes a
didn't
head up.
ask him for prices or costs. We'll do that as the snow
Yep.
melts away. We'll get something. If it's a small cost, I'll just let you guys know afterwards. If it's under, $1,500, we're just going to do it,
Right.
as opposed to
It does get used. There's no
A
doubt.
ton.
Oh, yeah.
It's used.
a ton. Let's see here.
So the background checks, you're going to come back here, Mike, and check on that check.
Yep.
Playground. The schedule's been updated by Andy, it sounds like, for the spring for talent.
Yeah, I think it
right?
looks like
The
it.
requests in.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything. It's been,
Another thing was the cornhole tournament. Was it this past weekend?
I think it was. I didn't attend. I just saw Keith's email saying,
Right.
response saying he was going to go help whoever that was, Brian or
Yeah.
I forget.
I think Keith was probably playing.
To give, I'm sure Keith was playing. Yeah. They get what to give him access. Oh, that's what it was. Pickleball wanted to do some extended time, right? They wanted to know when cornhole was going to go in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm assuming it went off. But this just gets back to what we discussed before. That we have no follow-up. Obviously, Keith's there, we can find out, but we don't know. We never saw any follow-up about insurance, and we never saw any follow-up about a detail. we say we want these things,
Right.
but we never follow up on it to find out if these things were ever done.
Right.
And events are held. And like we all know, Keith, I'm sure, was there. So we'll be able to ask Keith, was it?
I think that's the hard part, is if we're tied into an event, each of one of us would assume, well, I'm there, I've got the forms, I've got
Yeah.
the paperwork, do we need to go anywhere more with that?
Well, even if one of us is tied to it, we should have some sort of process in place, which we don't, for follow-up, that no one follows up with us. We say, we need this for you to get approval.
Yep.
We pencil it into the calendar, which is pretty much penned into the calendar, and then the event is held. And there's no, on our end,
Follow-up.
follow-up.
Correct.
With the person making the request. So this just gets back to processes and who's responsible and who should be responsible. Should it be one of us on this board that says, okay, I'm going to be responsible for them giving me
Right.
their information on these dates that they've requested.
Because we could have a paper trail for that, right? There'd be a receipt for both the detail and the
There's
insurance.
definitely a detailed receipt. I mean, a copy of a detailed request is always with the police
Okay.
department. They can certainly make a copy, I'm sure, and hand it to us.
But it
And
should,
the insurance
honestly,
binder.
though, it shouldn't be on none of that should be on the police department. Like, it should be on,
Well, yeah, you go, you fill out the request. I'd have to say, can you make a copy? I mean, I hand it back to them.
right.
There's no place in the lobby right there.
They don't give you a copy,
No.
they don't give you anything, you just
No.
fill it out and put it in?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we would want.
Right. I mean, I didn't get any copy. I never even got an email confirmation.
Right.
I just handed it to them. They said, "Yep, you're all set." I'm like, "Okay," and I walked out.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to. I don't know if they have a copier over there. I don't know. There's the little.
But they have to pay them, right? I mean, so there's
I don't know whoever
invoice or something.
is there during the daytime.
But for the police detail, like the organization would have to pay the detail, right? So,
Or you come in, you fill out the form. That's all I did. That's
They-
it. And I hand it back to them, and they put it on their calendar, I guess.
Do they bill you after?
Well, I fell under the rec commission, so I didn't get billed.
I can't find that.
What are you looking for?
Huh?
What are you looking for?
The one with the letter that came through.
Oh, don't worry about it. They're just gonna come to the next
I
meeting.
don't know what email it went to.
So, I guess something to put on our,
That's on the list, so
it's on the list.
it's on there.
Really?
Peter got it,
Depends how
so-
many people we can get here. I mean, we gotta have we're missing what, 3 people tonight?
Right.
Yeah.
Or do we just, should we create a list of things we want and say, hey, sign up before the next meeting, things you want, and then we'll try to assign duties afterwards?
We could do that. I mean, Mike volunteered obviously to take on the insurance. This is just, we've been having a few meetings and he was like, I'll just take on the insurance responsibility to go after them. We know Andy does the calendar.
Well, so do you.
And yeah, I do the one-offs. He does the
Right.
schedule. I don't have a problem if we say, I mean, I'd volunteer for it if we say, when these people come in and make requests and we say, just like you did to me, we need to, your insurance binder and police detail, or one or the other. If they're not having alcohol, they don't need the police detail. But I'm happy to volunteer to be the person to follow up with these individuals. That's fine. It's just I think we need some sort of process. Like you said, it can't be. We're not going to put it on the police department, but we have no way to.
But
they just
yeah,
take the receipt.
if
they just take
I
the
didn't
copy.
I didn't realize that they didn't give you back something
No.
saying
They just put it on their calendar.
So, I mean, we can almost set up an automatic email. Hey, we've approved so-and-so we've approved a paint night for such and such a night. Send an automatic email out to the person running the event and to the police department the week before. Hey, you got the details scheduled and all set to go, and have we got an insurance binder? Please send it to us. We can do that every time we have an event. That could be an easy automatic email.
We send that to the police department.
Why not?
Oh, I don't know. I've never done it. I've never sent an email to the
I'm
police.
just thinking it would make sense from our end. If
It would make sense. I've just never done it. Would they respond saying yes, they have a detail?
I can ask the chief.
Okay. Yeah. If
Seems
it's
like
an
a
email address,
reasonable request.
if it's
Alright,
just,
yeah,
I mean,
no,
I'm
I
assuming it's
agree.
the receptionist, or is it a receptionist, or is she the
Dispatch.
dispatcher? Okay, if they have a dispatcher that